Developed, created, and owned by James PoeArtistry Productions. Hi, perceptive readers. This is certainly a red pill, blue pill technology moment Monday. And welcome to the James PoeArtistry Productions moment. As you know, this is the Evolved Perceptive Readers podcast that is transitioning, has already started for over a month now, into the different platforms of the James PoeArtistry Productions. And with that word platform, what type of platforms are we talking about? Yes, we're talking about technology, streaming, video, all sorts of wonderful, neat things for sending out news and also for creativeness, to express ourselves creatively through technology. I picked this subject today because in my initial start of the day, important news events, so to speak, in the creative world or from creatives, I ran across one selection that I got to tell you, when I listened to it, even before I finished listening to it, my heart just really went out for this person. You see, sometimes you can empathize with a person not only because, you don't want anything bad to happen to them, but also because the same things have happened to you in your life, and sometimes more than once. And so what was this news event that I actually listened to and gave considerable thought as to, yes, this can go into a topic today in the red pill, blue pill technology moment, so to speak. Well, did you see the video titled Lana Del Rey addressing theft of hard drive and computer with new album and poetry book? Let me read that title to you again. Lana Del Rey addressing theft of hard drive and computer with new album and poetry book. In there, she gives a detailed police report, if you will, but in her very soft-spoken, you see, lovely way that helped to, I guess you could say, brace our own heart and mind that this terrible crime was committed against her. The damage that was done, priceless equipment. Well, you see, this is the point. Even more than the equipment costing thousands upon thousands of dollars, the intellectual art and property that came out of Lana Del Rey's mind is priceless. And yet all of that was stolen, as she explained it in a very calm manner, you see. Now, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this in the technology moment, even though, like I said, here it is, I'm telling you what happened. And so how does this, once again become such a major subject matter that you wanted to talk about on this Monday? Well, I will share it with you right now. You see, she explained something that I'm telling you, many people who use technology today, and even grandma and grandpa who barely use it just for email, probably in their telephones, would be asking the question, why didn't she have all of that intellectual, digital, priceless property actually redundantly backed up to several places? Okay, several places like the not only hard drives at home, but also to the cloud or internet. Now, remember, even though she may have, her reasons why she didn't, I'm going to tell you some reasons why persons over the years, especially with the start of the internet, have been hesitant in even backing up redundantly to the cloud. Before I go into this, I just want to make one more point or two more points about something that she referenced. The first point is, I am very sorry to hear that, she suffered that damage, because this is not just a physical destruction of property and the stealing of priceless, a potential of currency and everything, if you will. But also, when things like this happen, make no mistake about it, it feels like a violation on a very deep and personal level. So if you ever see somebody, break something, it is one thing to break something, like even a priceless heirloom, where persons at times may say, oh, well, it's just material. And then sometimes the person ends up saying, yeah, I will get over in time. But it's a difference when you have actually been violated in such a way of your property being damaged and then stolen. It is a difference. So if you see the person still sad, don't think that they're crying over this material aspect of something, but no, this actually hits on a deeply emotional, personal level that can hurt a person, and it goes far beyond even the material or physical damage. Okay, so I want to share that. The second point I want to bring up that's going to lead me into technology more is, she stated that again, her items, even when she's had them in her home at times. See, this is not the first time apparently something like this has happened. She tries to stay as private, as she can. She likes being a private person. And yet, see, in these days we live in now, and you've heard me talk about this quite a bit over the years, it's almost like you don't even have privacy in your own home once you have some persons who totally start disregarding your rights as a human being, and yes, a person or personality being made in God's image. And that is sad, which I won't go into too much detail in this podcast because we're talking about technology, but it really is sad. And so the whole point is, sometimes persons still do not even back up to the cloud. Because why? I'm just telling you like it is. They already know that not everyone, even these administrators at times of these servers, are honest. Some of them, not all of them, are persons who will have the capability of just being white hackers, which they consider the good guys. But no, there are still persons who infiltrate companies who are, what they call, gray hat or black hackers or whatever, people who actually do make a living off of stealing from others' digital property. And isn't that again another sad thing about the state of the world today? Now, if you keep that in mind, you'll see why I say that this is titled basically the red pill, blue pill of technology, because I'm going to share something with you that I said, over the past year or so, I guess, just thinking to myself personally that, I guess maybe I need to adjust my mind a little bit more, in the terms of the way I was viewing technology and for the future, and living forever. Yes, this does have a spiritual, a very much so connotation to it, even in the use of technology for the spirit, for the future. Okay, for the future. All right. Well, with the cloud, as I explained before, let me first off thank every network administrator, programmers and authority and things of that nature, CIOs, chief information officers, who have taken this major responsibility that you have very seriously. Very seriously, knowing that you have to analyze and judge things on a level that yes, it does take a maturity. to be a network administrator over everybody's, personal, private, public, money, all these types of things, banking, all this stuff that are on the servers. And for many years, there are many persons who realize this requires a strong sense of integrity and honor. To basically be able to keep your hands off of causing problems, even with persons you wouldn't even like, until, this is what I mean when I talk about the authorities. The authorities, when they do their job, actually end up publicly and everything relating the final the decision or sentence or what have you, no ambiguity. But before that time comes, you can be hearing all sorts of things about people and things of that nature at times. But as your job in these different companies as network administrators, senior level, all the way from tier 1 and higher, still you realize until the ones who have been efficiently trained in what they're supposed to do in the ways of justice and mercy and judgment, state this or that, then you certainly will not go and start changing things around. And I told you, when judgments are that serious on that level, then you should or need official documents that will stand up still even in the court of law, can be referenced not only by the prosecutors, but yes, even the defendant. Okay. So with that in mind, I still want to say thank you to all you network administrators who are continuing to set the example in honor and integrity of everyone's data. Now, technology, red pill, blue pill, moment where I talk about in the future. I talk about living forever. Here, not only in heaven, as I told you, some go, but the majority of humankind will be living forever on this earth. And up until now with technology, I mostly always thought about, and this was even before the blockchain started becoming very, very interesting. You remember when I started talking about how blockchain can really help even as in the future, here I go, in the future as we move out into space, so to speak, how it would work, how it would function, and things of that nature. A marvelous technology that, of course, we know again will go up on an even higher level. As some of you most likely appreciated when I was talking about the quantum level computers, and I talked about quantum strings at a time. As you can see, I said again, there's some technology that works on such a level. Hey, let's just face it. It's kind of really going into the spiritual, even though people just say it's energy. It's just all energy. Yeah. But it's interesting the way sometimes, the technology, which they said before, hey, if people were to see the technology 1,000 years ago that we use today, they'll think we were all gods anyway. So let me just stick to that level of things. Okay. But, I want to talk about this because I want to give some encouragement to the ones who said, I don't even want to use the cloud and things of that nature. Okay. And I'll share something with you that may help. Okay. When I started the Perceptive Readers podcast and everything on popbooks.com and started creating videos and we're writing articles all over the place for even other different companies and stuff at times, that was way back in 2010, around about that area. There was, of course, a lot of technology, especially like with the Microsoft Windows systems and things of that nature, which now, as far as for the home and enterprise type of technology that they're using, they've upgraded so much now. I think they have something they call Windows 11 out. And a lot of persons have been complaining, about the security even there. And then if we were to go to the Apple and Mac computers, which are known to be very secure, etc. on that level. But you see, all the same, everything can become synchronized just like that. Even in ways that you almost like, oh, I didn't know that feature was automatically turned on, but yes, it is. And so, I'm here to continue to share with you at times that since you will most likely have features even turned on that you are not even aware about, surveillance in any of these systems that you are not really aware about, maybe you could still, for persons who feel that way, still do yourself a favor and make an extension to the cloud either way. So that way, if any of your items are stolen, you see, like what happened with Lana Del Rey, they don't get to, the people who stole it, they don't get to lay claim to all your wonderful, priceless memories and pictures and poetry and all that stuff like that, without you being able to already have the groundwork, you see, the proof that, hey, no, this came out of my mind. You see what I'm saying? And so that's just a thought there. It will help, okay? And the red pill, blue pill topic on technology that I want to share with you now happens to be that's something that I had to, adjust my mind to. See, when I talk about, living forever and even on this earth, for the next 1,000 years, you see, known as a day of judgment for some, it's during those times where, where Jesus stated that every unprofitable thing that comes out of somebody's mouth will be called to account, or will be addressed, or what have you. Then exactly how that is going, to work, you can, read other examples in the Bible, because it still doesn't mean that it's going to be a time of hypercritical. See, then that's what some people have started even already jumping the gun, even in this time period we're living in. I'm just stating the fact. Some people have become so hypercritical. It's just, oh my goodness. And then they'll actually, once again, think it is the spirit of what the Bible is teaching. And I said once before, and I said again, it's not. It's not. We are not supposed to be hypercritical persons. Okay. And so even for that time period, see, that's why right now, Jesus, in his, once again, informative and loving way, was already just letting us know that, just like I can't tell you everything that, that would fit in the scrolls. See, as one Bible writer put it, that, boy, if they were to tell you everything that Jesus did, the scrolls of the world wouldn't even, all around the world. You see, they couldn't even write enough for all that information that Jesus had done and related. But one thing still was clear, that some of the things that Jesus talked about would be happening during that 1,000-year reign, it still wasn't totally, how can I put it, have the final judgment, so the matter, on this side of things at this time. Because why? Because God knows, and Jesus knows just how broken and needing of bandages, spiritually, so to speak, we are in, the state that we are in. That's why we need the ransom sacrifice. And so with that being said, see, when we go into the 1,000-year reign of judgment, remember I told you, it's almost like one of the ways that I can describe this in a spiritual sense, even though I'm going to use a physical application of this. Do you have a pain on your body, or used to have a pain from an injury on your body, whether it was your ankle, your knee, maybe a nerve here, a pinch or there. And when you first injured it or felt it, it almost like, man, you felt like this hurt or pain is never going to go away. See, teenagers can really talk about this, because this can really be applied that, hey, after they had the initial pain or break or what have you, it may have taken really some months to work out the kinks of what they went through, but then they were eventually healed and they were strong enough once more to lift whatever it was that they couldn't lift during those weak moments. Let's say they were in perfect shape again. Okay. Well, see, that's what will happen during the 1,000 years of us growing back to perfection. We're going to be healed not only physically, but spiritually in such ways where then it will be to the point where you could state to a person, oh, come on now. You know that leg isn't broken anymore. Now, why did you just do what you did? Why you acting like you can't lift that 25 pounds over there? You see what I'm saying? Because you'll be totally healed. And it's like, you waking up good every morning. See, and that's the way it will be again with unprofitable sayings. You see, you can get to a point, and you can hear this today from even older persons at times, where they'll just say, oh, I don't even think like that no more. Or I don't feel that way about this situation anymore. Or a person who was known to be a very, very hardened person can become so sentimental in the way of love because they don't have to fight those battles or those wars that they may have been through in their life, that it's almost like, you know, there's more of a sensitivity towards what this person may be going through or that other person may be going through. See, during the 1,000-year reign, you see, we will be in that state then where it's like, hey, you get called for account for something, you know it's going to be on the stage like, oh, now you know better. You know you're capable. You need to come on with that. Okay. Now, with all that being said, I'm coming to a conclusion talking about the red pill, blue pill technology. Okay. And this is, like I said, I said, man, I was actually talking in prayer. I said, I guess I'm going to have to adjust my mind on this. You know, there was an expression that used to be said, you know, in the new world, we won't even need locks on our doors. I used to believe that. But here's my point. That's just a side note. But see, with technology during that 1,000-year reign, it is made very clear that there will be ones that the reason why they're being called for, to address the unprofitable sayings of their mind is because guess what? Some persons will still come to the conclusion that out of all this abundance, life in abundance, food in abundance, abundance in health, etc., there's going to still be some persons that's going to still be like, I don't like you and I don't like God. Now, isn't that interesting? But we already know that can happen because of what happened with Adam and Eve. Okay. So the whole point is, what will happen when if persons like that start changing their mind along those type of ways? You know, they can cause some problems before the issue is really finally resolved. Okay. And so with that being said, the same way, and I'll use Lana Del Rey, what happened to her, it would be a shame for even when we are growing back to perfection and living forever, where some of the individuals who wouldn't be, happy with God and the way that he does things and things of that nature, would show it or act out in some other way to, destroy somebody's property. Granted, if something like this was to happen, hypothetically speaking, something like this was to happen, like what happened to Lana Del Rey, yes, I imagine God in his mercy and stuff would just restore or rematerialize everything. But here's the point. See, this how you can see that, hey, now we're going to the coffee shop, the conversation. But I'm just talking. Okay, about this. But it still made me think in the matters of technology. You see, the same way, heaven, okay? Remember, the people who are on earth with our bodies, because remember, flesh and blood cannot, be before the presence of God. And so there is a boundary, if you will, a protection, even for ourselves, because we couldn't withstand such magnificence. So, as far as with the technology that we have of today, we know there are just sacred things. There are sacred matters. You see, even marriage is sacred. See, it's interesting because marriage, remember I explained this to you before, is so sacred that when a man and woman becomes one, you know what? There's an expression. No one is supposed to be able to be policing someone else's bedroom and observation and things of that nature. Okay. And I'm telling you, you can call it going out on a limb all you want. I know it's not. I just can't see that even in the new world, the 1,000-year judgment period and after, that anybody would have access or want access to someone else's even bedroom and private matters, etc. like that, through the use of technology, etc. Okay. So with all of that being stated, today, maybe again, all the technology features that you have to use, including the cloud, maybe you may want to read up on it or, different persons, seeing what would be more secure and best for you. Something as far as in a matter of redundancy, that if you do lose your data, you can easily have it restored very quickly. Even in the time period that we have today. Okay. I'm hoping, I'm just letting you know, like with some of my background, you see, and experience and the way that technology is, with the James PoeArtistry Productions, if you will, the evolved in that, just something that, I continue to look at is what I just mentioned to you about redundancy, where there can be a very secure way of managing not only, your data and things of that nature, that creative, priceless data, but being very much aware through the, other backup features, etc., that you will feel secure. That you will be, able to sleep and at ease at night, so to speak, that your data is somewhere, by a trustworthy, administrator or what have you, who's not going to betray your trust and be giving out your data or your ideas or thoughts in this way or that. And that's just an encouragement, again, for all these big organizations, etc., and companies, and even the small-time business persons and entrepreneurs. So this was a technology red pill, blue pill moment, if you will. Thank you for being with me this week. Have a very wonderful day. And again, wishing the best for all of you. And if you have lost anything this recently or even in the past that meant something to you, just know in the end of all matters, and with the capabilities that we have, and in the future on technological and spiritual matters as well, it's going to be all right. Keep your heart a pleasant one. Have a very wonderful, wonderful day.